So the Sixers have officially made another signing. We'll break down all the details of that. Also, PJ Tucker praising Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, talking about what it takes to be a winner. All that and a whole bunch more on today's show. Let's go.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Philly Take with RB, number one show for Sixers fans. Today we are back, and man, whole lot going on. The Sixers had their blue and white scrimmage today, their annual scrimmage, where they kind of just mess around and have fun. Isaiah Joe ends up winning it on a shooting competition. Great day, I promise you, but we just have to hop right into it because in the most unexpected manner, the one thing I didn't expect to happen today, I promise you, the Sixers go out and make another signing. So according to Rich Hofmann, the Sixers have signed guard Mac McClung to an Exhibit 10 deal. It is expected that he will play for the Delaware Blue Coats this season. Now, you're probably sitting back going, who the heck is Mac McClung? Well, maybe this will ring a bell for you. So shout out to Josh Reynolds on Twitter, posting the infamous highlight clip reel of Mac McClung, the mixtape. All right, this dude was a bad boy. He was a bad boy. Let me know if this rings a bell. Back in high school, just a couple years ago, this guy was a high flyer. He was going all around. I mean, his name was making its rounds, okay? He ended up going to Georgetown. He ended up transferring to Texas Tech. He was actually going to transfer again, and then he ended up declaring for the draft after 3 years of college, and he ended up going undrafted, which I was surprised about because there was a lot of hype around this guy. It ended up falling off at some point, but even I remember watching one game in Georgetown where he was a high flyer, man, and they were talking about him all day on ESPN. It was crazy. Now, Mac McClung ended up playing with the Chicago Bulls for a little bit, the Los Angeles Lakers, mostly in the G League. He got into a couple games last year in the NBA, but he's still technically a rookie. Now, he was with the Golden State Warriors this past week during Summer League, and honestly, he was doing all right, man. I thought he was okay. He's a guy, in my opinion, that is going to have a tough time translating to the NBA, but he's still kind of like a spark type of player. You know, he's still kind of like one of those players where you just, plug him in the game, and he's going to make something happen. Some type of scrappy player, some type of wow factor dunk or something like that. But in his game, in the first preseason game that he played with the Warriors, he ended up going 12 minutes, 4 for 6 from the field, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. So I don't think he's a terrible player. I think he has something to offer. It's just about getting that potential out. And then again, playing against the big boys, you got to be able to shoot. That was one of his weaknesses. I think he shot like 34% in college from deep, and he was averaging 15, 16 points a game. So he can make things happen. I just don't know if he's ready to take that step as an NBA player. Maybe he finds his way as a role player. He's on an Exhibit 10 deal, so that could get converted to a two-way. Maybe we'll see him in preseason, but he'll probably spend the year in the G League with the Blue Coats. Maybe he'll end up going somewhere else. But yeah, I never would have expected Mac McClung to be on the Sixers. If he ever found his way up to the roster, that would be something. He would be very hyped. Also, the next deal of business, we got to talk about PJ Tucker. This guy is a winner. The other day, PJ Tucker had zeros in the box scores, but the one thing he did, I remember the possession where he goes up and gets 3 offensive rebounds in a row. He's scrapping. He's fighting for that second possession, that third possession. And, man, he's just a dog. And he knows what it takes to win. He had an interview. Shout out to Lauren Rosen. She does a great job. And, some of these media day post interviews where they kind of sit down with Lauren Rosen one-on-one are starting to come out. They're starting to surface. A lot of interesting things to be said. But PJ Tucker was on notice talking about Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, what he wants to achieve here, what he wants to do, and how he's going to help this team win. So we'll definitely get to that in just a second. But quick shout out to our sponsor of today's show. Shout out to Manscaped, leading provider in below-the-waist grooming products for men. They're an absolute game changer, especially their Performance Package 4.0 with the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, the Crop Preserver, the Crop Reviver. They have everything you need, and they're taking the game to another level, man. Their Lawnmower 4.0 is my favorite, to be honest. I mean, it's probably the best razor I've ever used. Has a cutting-edge ceramic blade, has a freaking flashlight, skin-safe technology. This thing will help you protect the jewels at all costs. And man, you know, it's getting to that time of the year. You have to trim the bushes. You have to keep yourself clean, ladies and gentlemen. So you have to take care of yourself below the waist. And Manscaped is helping you do that to an extreme level. They're changing the game. Click that link down below in the description. Use promo code PhillyTake for 20% off and free shipping. Trust me, fellas, your lady will thank you. All right, PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker's a dog. All right, I've seen all I need to see. PJ Tucker is going to help this team single-handedly get a couple more wins this season just because of the way that he approaches the game. Now, PJ Tucker was talking, again, with Lauren Rosen in one of these interviews just about what it means to play here and really his mentality this season, right? And I've said this multiple times. He has gone through the ringer. He has the process down, no pun intended. He knows what it takes to win after winning with Milwaukee. And he was with Miami last year, and he was a big contributor for them. And we were able to bring him here. But I want you to listen to what he says about his mindset.
It's one of those things, like you win it, and people don't understand, like, I knew how much I wanted to win one before I won it. But once you win it, the want to win it again is so much higher. To get that feeling again, obviously the experience that with a new group of guys, a bunch of guys that are hungry, chasing it. I'll do everything I can to be, older veteran. It's gonna be tough, and we're gonna go through a lot throughout the season, but it's gonna be so much better when you get to the end and you have a chance to really win it. It makes everything worth it.
PJ Tucker, again, it's important to have a guy that knows what it takes, that knows the process and how to get through it, especially with guys who have never, been past the second round. Now, James Harden got past the second round, but for a lot of this Sixers team who has never really gotten over that hump, and that's what our main goal is this season, it's so important to have a guy like PJ who can kind of guide you through the ups and the downs of that journey. And I love what he says here. I'm still hungry, even though I won a championship. I'm 37 years old. I'm getting paid pretty good. If I wanted to, I could come out here and earn my paycheck. But no, I have the drive. Now that I've won one, I want to taste that again. I want to finish that unfinished business with James Harden. I want to help a guy like Joel Embiid. When PJ Tucker was asked about Joel Embiid, which we'll talk about more in a second, he's referenced multiple times that the reason he came here, that the reason James Harden wanted to come here was because of Joel Embiid. Joel's a polarizing star, and now there are other players that want to play with him. That is an important thing to keep in the back of your head, but I just love the mindset, and I think Tucker is going to help this team more than anybody can imagine, especially not even on the box score, but just in the locker room, the presence, having a guy who I think, if you come out in game 6 of a playoff series and you're not showing energy, you're showing a lackluster performance, he's not going to let it happen. He's like a player coach. He's going to demand greatness, and that's a great thing to have in your locker room. Now, let's hear what he had to say about Tyrese Maxey because, the young gun and then the really old vet that's been through it all. So Tucker was asked about Maxey, and this is what he said, quote, his energy, man, being an older guy now, I love seeing the young guys come in, don't even have to stretch or anything. He comes out and just starts running up and down the court, flying around. He's full of energy. He's always happy, smiley, and ready to play, and he loves playing. Like, to get that energy from the young guys, it makes me feel young. I love to hear it. And then he's asked about Maxey's speed. Quote, he's definitely the fastest guy I've ever seen in my life. Tyrese is insanely fast. It's scary. It's scary. It changes the whole dynamic of our team because especially with James, Joe, Tobias, he's so different. And he can do a little bit of everything. Facilitating, attacking, shooting the ball super well. He does it all. Just to have somebody like that, it is incredible. A lot of praise for the young gun, man, and he's going to be a big influence to him as well. Quote, he's a young guy. He's such a good scorer, so good on offense. He's so small. I think he has to be crafty. There's times when he's going to have to be able to switch and kick him out, and I told him his communication has to be A1, something we were talking about even on the last preseason game. Be so fast, be able to be in passing lanes. He could do so many other things. He's going to have to be crafty, know people's plays, tendencies, what they like to do, and that's half the battle. The rest of it, he'll be able to just fill in. That is experience. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. He knows what it takes. He knows the developmental process, man. So shout out to PJ Tucker. I love the praise. Everybody loves Tyrese Maxey. So far in these first 2 games, Tyrese Maxey is jumping off of the screen. You can already see the monumental difference from year 1 to year 2, from year 2 to year 3. And having this team, having that position where it's like, all right, we're ready to go win now. I think it's a good thing for Tyrese Maxey. He's dedicated. He's focused. He wants to be a part of that. He wants to do something that's not really usual. So shout out to Tyrese Maxey. And PJ Tucker had a lot of praise for Joel Embiid as well. And here in this interview, he's asked about Joel Embiid coming out publicly after the Heat series and saying that we need a tough guy. We need a guy like PJ Tucker. Let's hear what Tucker had to say about that.
Did you know that he had said that right after that game?
We kind of were doing press conferences at the same time, so I kind of heard it and seen it while it was going on, so that was pretty cool. When you go to battle with somebody like that, for right after, for them to acknowledge that, it's pretty cool, especially when you're not scoring 50 points or doing something crazy like that. When you're a guy like me, you do all the little things to contribute to help to the bigger picture of winning. It's always pretty cool.
Doing all the little things to help contribute to the bigger picture of winning. I love what this guy says. Pumping into my veins, man. Philly is going to love this guy. They're going to love Trez. I mean, just that energy. You can tell we finally have that different presence, that different culture. We're building towards that. And I just love what he brings to the table, man. I love what he brings to the table. And a lot of high praise for Joel. Like I said, he literally stated he wanted to come here because of Joel Embiid. He doesn't want to play against him anymore. He wants to help him. He wants to finally be a piece to help him and his squad get over the top. Now add Mac McClung to the squad. Man, this Sixers team, it is the year. It has to be the year. But anyway, I can't wait to see what happens, man. Comment down below what you think. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to Manscaped. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace.